is the finished product, oxidized and polished. My fingers are dirty from oxidizing it, but anyway, that's how it looks.
If you would like to make this pendant, please keep watching.
So to make this pendant, you're going to need a heart-shaped stone, and mine is 1 inch across and 1 inch tall. You're also going to need, since this one is not very tall, it's only like 2, maybe 3 millimeters tall. I'm going to use 21 gauge square copper, raw copper wire, and I'm using 4 lengths, and these are 12 inches long each. And then I'm also using 21 gauge half round copper wire, and this is also bare copper, so I can oxidize this when I'm finished. Then you'll need your chain nose. These are tweezer nose pliers. I like nylon jaw pliers just to straighten my wire, round nose pliers, and flush cutters. And today I'm also going to be using this pin vise to make the top wire a little curly. All right, so first I'm going to begin with one of my 21 gauge square wires, and I'm going to insert it into the pin vise, and then holding the end and twisting the handle and make that tight. And then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and grab hold of one end and then start twisting the vise with the other hand. And that starts to make this wire twisted. Then I'm going to undo the pin vise and take this back out. So this is going to be my top wire. So I'm going to stack these 4 wires together. And I'm going to put the one that I just twisted on top. Right, make sure these are all nice and in line. And then I'm going to take my half round wire, making sure that the half rounded side is facing up. There we go. It's going to start on the bottom, and then I'm going to start wrapping around all 4. So what you want to do is, I'm just going to press this down a little bit. Make sure that that half round side of the wire stays toward the 4 wires. And I also like to use my nylon pliers to just press down as I go, just to make sure this stays nice and neat. Okay, so just kind of press them together and then push down. And I'm gonna do, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, 12 wraps around. Just do a few more. This just keeps the wires connected. And then I'm going to turn it to the back, and I'm going to cut these wires right in the center. Cut these off. And then use my pliers to press down those ends. Okay. Then I'm going to put my chain nose a little bit off center and I'm gonna push up on this side to make a V like this. And I've got my twisted wire on the top, and then I'm gonna put my stone in and just shape it around. So I'm gonna open it out just a little more so that it will go all the way down into that V. Shape these around. Okay, I'm gonna turn it, and I'm gonna take the very back wire, and I'm just gonna twist it inward on both sides. This very back wire, twist it inward, and that will keep my stone from falling out the back. Okay. Now I do want my twisted wire to come up on top. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one come over the top like this. And then I'm going to bend. I'm going to take all these from the right over to the back, and all of these from the left over the top, like this. Okay, and then I'm going to bend right here in the center so that these go straight up, and the same on this other side, bending so that where they meet in the center, then they're going to go up together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this this one that is twisted across and bring it around the side and then around the back, making sure that all of these stay in line. Bring it around the other side just to secure that little neck there. Okay. So now we've got the twisted wire and the next one are both kind of coming across the top of the stone. And then we've got one going along the side and then the one in the back. Okay, for now we're going to just leave this wire coming out to the side, and we're going to separate these out. So you want to make sure that the wires that are coming over from the right stay over to the right, and the ones from the left stay over to the left. Right, and then I've got 3 wires. Let me pull this one back over to the front. There we go. 3 wires coming up from the back, and then I've got these 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. And if you have, let me just grab mine. If you have these kind of pliers that have the step, you can make your bail with these. I'm just going to use this middle one, and that helps to make the bail, and you want it to be right over the top of the stone. Okay, and then what I like to do is take this this one that we were using to wrap around. I'm going to continue around again around the front, and then I'm going to cross it around the back, capturing those bail wires. Bring it back around one last time. like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to separate these back bail wires out like this. Okay, so we've got two one way and one this way. And then the one we were wrapping with is just coming out the side. Then I like to kind of separate the bail wires out like that. Okay. Now I've got some little stones, and I think these are 5 millimeters. They might be 4, but I think they're 5. And actually, since I'm using the 21 gauge, I should be able to use a little bit smaller little beads as well. But I'm going to put these, I'm going to take this top wire that's on the right, and I'm going to start putting some beads on it. So I'm going to put one of the larger beads first, and then I'm going to grab a little bit smaller one. Sometimes if I use my pliers, it's a little bit easier to get them out. Okay. And I think when you get the beads, you can make sure that, actually those look the same. That's okay. You can make sure that the bead hole is wide, a little bit wider, so that it will go over your wire. Okay, so there we go. That one's a little bit smaller. And I'll do one more smaller one. Okay. So now I've got 4 beads on here. And I'm just gonna bring this around, trying to keep those beads up the top. Bring it around into a little circle. Not quite a circle, but, and then I'm gonna bring this wire around into a loop. And back around to the back. I'm gonna trim that one off. And then I'm gonna tuck it inside the bail. There we go. Okay, so we've got like a little curly Q going on there in the middle of those beads. Okay. Then we can take, you can actually do pretty much anything you want with these other wires, but I'm going to bring this one across and around to the back, and I'm going to do the same with this one that is twisted. I'm going to bring it across, so it kind of makes a little heart there, and I'm going to bring it around to the back. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it around, trim these off, and then just tuck these in the inside here. And the same on this side. Just going to tuck this in as it comes around. Like that. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna take this one that we were using to wrap around the bail. This one's kind of coming through, so I'm gonna trim that off. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and trim this one as well and tuck it inside the bail. Okay, and then we've got one more. This one I'm gonna bring around, just kind of repeat that little motif. So I'm going to trim this one and tuck this inside. So it just sort of follows the other one there. And I'll do the same with this one. Bring it around. Trim and tuck. So it kind of is like a little braid, little crisscrossy thing there. Now this one, I'm just gonna bring it around the top of the bail and make a little circle with it. Little curly Q in on itself until it gets very small, and then I'm gonna trim. And flatten it. All right, and then if your bail gets a little bit wonky, sometimes what I do is I just grab the very tip of it and bend it outward on the outside ones, and that makes it a little bit, you know, a little prettier, especially if this bottom or this middle one gets a little short. Then that sort of straightens it all out. Okay, we've got one more wire here, and I think I'm just going to trim it and tuck it inside the bail as well. So we ended up with a lot of extra wires, but there you go. And then I will just need to oxidize it and it will be finished.